Hello and welcome to the Maple Grove Report. I'm Dave Kaiser from Northwest Community Television. Glad you can join us again for an update of what's new in Maple Grove. Heidi Nelson, Maple Grove City Administrator, joining us once again. Welcome.
Thank you.
Short meeting on May 6th to talk about 27 minutes. Most of the updates were updates for things that are coming up in the future, so we'll give you a little sneak peek on some of the community development items that are coming. A lot going on in the city as we head into spring, so you're going to want to get your calendar out, and there's a big announcement for September. Some great music coming to town, so stick with us for that. To the council meeting from May 6th, a couple items from the consent agenda we wanted to touch on for a minute. One that was pulled that might surprise people. There's a little skiing that goes on at a few of the area lakes, and this goes through really an annual approval process.
Yeah, so this goes through the Lake Quality Commission and then comes to the City Council for approval. So this is for Cedar Island, Fish, and Rice Lakes to set up their slalom water ski course. And so they go through a process to determine the locations of those and taking into consideration depths and all those kinds of issues for the lake and public safety. So those applications get vetted and then come forward. So it's a sure sign of summer's coming when we see that application on the agenda.
We like the sounds of that. Let's go. One other item we've touched on a few times in the early planning process, and it sounds like it's coming back to further discussions, more discussions, is the community center and what the future is of that building, which I still think of it as a rather new building, but it's been around a while. What's coming up?
Yeah, so we had on the agenda Monday evening the approval of a contract with HGA, an architectural firm, to lead us through a master planning process for that whole campus. So really that eastern end all the way out at the edge of Main Street, all the way to the western edge where the retail picks up. So we're going to be kicking off that work here now in the next few weeks. We hope to have that kind of wrapped up and finished by the end of the year before the holidays hit. So it's going to be kind of a fun process, just thinking about what do the next 25 years look like for this facility and really the full use of that campus. So more to come on that. There'll be some community engagement around that, making sure that we're talking to the various stakeholders and then the folks that utilize the facility, or maybe they don't use the facility today. So more to come on that, and you'll see opportunities to engage on that in the public.
Yeah, the world of community centers has changed. You think again 20, 30 years back and what community centers look like and what they featured and now what the demands are. So get in on that discussion if you can. Look for more information on the city's website as it moves along. Now to the public hearing. One public hearing, and this is the topic we've touched on. The process moves along for Windrose. Where are we now? Yeah,
so this is the project kind of at the northeast corner of 101 Bass Lake Road, the Pulte-led townhome project. Butts up against the Hanson property. So we went through that process with the Hansons and the Pulte approvals in the recent meetings. So this moves forward the streets and utilities associated with that. So public hearing for that. So we'll likely see some activity out there this summer.
All right, so it is moving ahead to community development. This is the long part of the meeting as we look ahead of some things that are coming up, and there are a few businesses in town that are to a point of a third phase, and this is pretty exciting. Tell us about the businesses that are moving ahead.
Yeah, so coming forward to Planning Commission in the next few weeks, Upshur Smith is doing an expansion. We're really excited about that, to see that business grow in the community, adding about another 300,000 square feet on their site. So that's a big move for them. And then Silver Creek on Main is going to be moving forward with their kind of phase 3 of that whole site. So phase 1 was the original building. The second phase they sold off to Applewood Point. So United Properties is under construction with that. And so this is an expansion of Silver Creek on Main, which kind of sits in between those two buildings. There is room again to the south there of that phase 3 for what would be a phase 4 of this project, which might be a more long-term care type facility. But yeah, so moving forward with that phase 3. They were in front of Planning Commission, was tabled to allow for some opportunity for the future residents at Applewood Point to connect with the Silver Creek on Main folks. So that'll be happening here in the interim period and coming back before Planning Commission in the next few weeks.
Okay. Final notes within that update from community development were master planning. A lot of talk about master planning, and you think again, where are we still planning in Maple Grove? Well, lots of areas. So 105th, the northwest area. Quickly on 105th, what's the update there? What are we looking for coming up in the next meeting?
Yeah, so that master plan will be coming forward here in the coming weeks to Planning Commission, City Council. You know, not much change in terms of land use or you know, anything like that from the comp plan, so it really follows on to the comp plan, but kind of talks about some of those road alignments and what some of those uses might look like up there. We do have some transitions up there in terms of, you know, we've got some large lot single family and some of that area will be transitioning to more of commercial industrial type uses, and then a little bit higher density housing. So we're working through that. And of course we have the Northwood proposal there on the north side of 105th, kind of midway, you know, between 94 and Maple Grove Parkway there. That involves the Northwood Church, but also some associated residential at a kind of a higher density level than that's been seen up there. So we're working through the Northwood piece, but this is the 105th master plan, and the Northwood proposal is consistent with what the master plan proposes. So that one will be coming forward here in the coming weeks, and then also the northwest area. So this is the area west of 94, kind of north of County Road 30 up to our borders with Corcoran and Dayton. No big changes in terms of land use, primarily a lot of single family, more density as you get closer to the 94, 610 areas, and then also some C&I commercial industrial type uses plugged in there as well. This one really focused on kind of the locations of parks, and of course the school district has a pretty significant land holding up there for a future elementary school, and then the extension of 610 and how the road alignments would work off of that extension being a little bit more defined. So that will be coming forward kind of following on the 105th area. All the information, if you want to take a look, is available on our website to go take a look at those plans. If there's residents that wish to speak to the plans, we encourage them to come either to Planning Commission or to City Council. They also can just email their concerns or give a call to staff. We'd be happy to meet with them to kind of talk things through. And so we just encourage people to engage and get out and take a look at what the master plans are. And you know, I think the piece that always we need to think about with master plans is that sometimes then when development comes forward, it doesn't necessarily look exactly like what the master plan was. What a master plan tries to do is really kind of talk about road alignments and types of uses and what it might look like. But we recognize that there's a market force with development as well, and so what comes forward might look a little bit different than that. It just is. It helps guide developers and the real estate a bit as we consider those transitions of land uses.
So exciting times in that northwest area, so keep an eye on information coming up. A couple other notes and updates from the meeting on May 6th. Ken Ashfeld, Public Works and Engineering, had a few things to talk about, and ready for orange cones. They're coming, and a lot of the work that we're talking about is not from the city, but the county. Tell us a couple of those roads we should watch out for.
Yeah, so the county's going to be doing kind of some mill and overlay work, doing some pavement maintenance type work out there. County Road 30, up in the kind of the Dunkirk area up there, they're going to be working up in that area, and then Weaver from the bridge really over to Elm Creek, so kind of in that highly traveled commercial area. They're also doing some work out on 101, so you're just going to want to pay attention. The good news is typically this work is kind of quick, a couple 2-3 weeks, and they're in and out of there, and then we have a better pavement surface. So, but just pay attention for those projects coming up.
And overall for the city, one of the big city efforts each year is the street reconstruction project. Where's the focus this year, and what's the timing on that?
Yeah, so we have several projects going forward. The ones that were approved in the Gladstone project, and then there's another neighborhood, and I'm not going to get to the name. Maybe I will here. Rice Lake Farms and Winslow Chase. That area was approved. One of our challenges this year, and I think this is Maple Grove isn't alone in this struggle, but I think the workforce challenges are playing into contractors' bids this year. Our bids came in. One bid was almost 30% over our engineer's estimate. Another one was about 15% over, and we're hearing that from a lot of our neighboring communities as well. We bid out a project that didn't get any bids either.
How about that?
So
that is unusual.
We're worried about this a little bit, and I think it speaks to the workforce challenges, and particularly in the area of trades and the ability to get labor to keep up with the demand for projects. So we're going to keep watching this. I know there's some communities that have said, we're going to take a pass this year, and that's always a troubling decision because you have your street maintenance programmed out really in kind of a 30-year cycle, and you miss a year, all of a sudden you're off that cadence.
Domino effect.
Right, and then things start to degrade quicker than you'd like. So it's really something we need to pay attention to, and then kind of work with our contractors to understand, timing of bidding, timing of projects, those kinds of things are there things that levers we can move to help out. So those two projects are moving forward, and we have I think we have some bid openings coming Monday, so we're paying attention to see how that goes. But something that I think all cities around this neck of the woods are dealing with.
All right, we
Yep.
will keep talking about that. A few other updates from Ken, just things that are happening in the future. More noise wall discussion as that comes
Yep.
to fruition, and also 105th Area Avenue roads, again, discussion about that.
Yep.
In your updates, we have a ribbon cutting coming
Yeah.
up, and it's in an area where we're really seeing some business fill in.
Yeah, so this is Village Arbor Lakes, kind of that inline retail there, their little kind of main street, really seeing that area fill up. So Spavia will be having their ribbon cutting on Thursday afternoon at 3 p.m. there. And we continue to see progress on the hotels, and Wahlburger's
Yeah.
going to get going here pretty quick. So that area is really seeing a lot of activity.
Important visit coming up for the council and for the city. Congressman Phillips
Yes.
is coming to town, and I understand one of the points of discussion might be I-94 and
Sure.
Fish Lake, that area. Tell us what the
Yeah.
congressman might be hearing and what you're hoping to hear.
Yeah, so Monday, the afternoon of Monday, May 13th, the City Council's been invited in to meet with Congressman Phillips to talk about the issues facing Maple Grove, and I think certainly transportation on a federal level, given how we're situated on the 94 corridor and 610, really kind of rises to the top. You know, a lot of investment going to be happening over the next 3 years out on the 94 corridor, thanks to, you know, cooperation at the state level, and then of course we continue to work on the completion of 610. But not too far off in the offing is you know, the Fish Lake split, and at what point does that improvement? MnDOT is doing study right now on those system-to-system movements and trying to look at, you know, maybe lower cost ways to construct some improvements to help traffic flow out there. But I think that's something on our radar and likely would become, you know, something that we'd seek maybe some federal assistance with beyond the state level in cooperation with MnDOT. So something to put on his radar, and other issues, of course, too, with housing and how, you know, funding for those types of programs comes down from the federal government.
Very good.
Yep.
Final note, we often say how the council is not just coming to council meetings. There are many workshops that happen, and there
Yeah.
seems to be a flood coming up here in the very near future.
Yeah.
Give us a recap of some of the meetings that are coming up and what the council is discussing.
Yeah, so I think we're seeing, you know, larger tracts of land being considered for future development, and those types of projects really require a lot of thinking and a lot of planning and a lot of, you know, discussion, and the council having some opportunity to kind of weigh in early. So 2 different workshops, topics for Monday, May 20th, prior to the city council meeting. Project that is being dubbed Project 100. This is really the land behind the hospital up to the 94 corridor. Ryan Companies is leading this one, sort of in cooperation with the hospital. There's some hospital expansion planned up there, so taking a look at what their land use is and kind of their timing and phasing. So that'll be an opportunity for the council to see that. And then the Elm Road development area. This is an area in the southwest corner, kind of one of the larger tracts of land down there that has large lot, single family type uses on it, even some farms, horse farms in that area left there on a gravel road, Elm Road. But this one has really been developer-led. So the Gagne development has acquired a number of lots in this area and has assembled them now such that they want to move forward with a project to start some development in that area. Pretty much just single family, some ranges in lot sizes, but single family type residential. So that one, the council will get to take a look at that development plan as well. That plan would include the improvement of Elm Road to an urban standard. Today, it's a gravel road.
So hard to believe.
Hard to believe.
They still exist.
But earlier in that evening, we are going to be inviting the Elm Road neighborhood in to see Gagne's plans. I think many of them are aware, have met with Gagne, but this is an opportunity to kind of see what they're thinking and take a look at that. So that would be happening from 5:30 to 6:30, and then they'd follow up with the council work session after that. So a lot of development, future development, and you know, taking a look at that on Monday, May 20th.
And then one other interesting workshop that's coming up has a interesting acronym. ULI is the group, Urban Land Institute. And this is a housing discussion. Give us a little background of how this came to be and what might be discussed.
So ULI, Urban Land Institute, provides this service really at no cost to cities, where they bring in a panel of development, you know, real estate and developers, sometimes folks from other cities, comparable cities, to really talk about what's happening. And you can either choose a focus area or you can talk just development in general. I've participated in these in the past in previous roles that I've had, sometimes focused in the area of retail or commercial industrial type development. We've been talking with ULI about doing this really focused on the area of housing. So there has, that issue was raised through our strategic planning process, but also a lot of attention in our comp planning process to housing, and some concern about the multifamily market is so hot right now, and we continue to see a lot of interest and a lot of demand to build additional multifamily units, whether it's townhomes or apartments. And here's some concern from our residents about, and from the city council about, how much we're building and within the same time frame. So 20 years from now, we're going to have all these units that are the same age and whatnot. So we are hoping through this process, there's some things we can do from a policy perspective, and we want to take a look at that and do some thinking and get a better understanding about, kind of where the housing needs truly are here in Maple Grove. So that'll be on June 3rd prior to the city council meeting.
As you see, a lot coming up. So there is your May 6th council meeting of 27 minutes and about 15 minutes worth of time. Let's move on to a lot happening in town. And again, I said get your calendar out because there is a lot coming up. We have talked about the idea of a concert coming up in the fall. And it's going to be happening. Give us the latest news. This is exciting for people.
Yeah, so Concert on the Lawn going forward, Saturday, September 14th. They did announce the lineup this week, and tickets go on sale 10 a.m. on Friday, so coming up at the end of this week. So the lineup includes the Gear Daddies, New Power Generation, the Four on the Floor, and Cat Perkins. So we're really excited about this. It's kind of going to be a full afternoon of music, late afternoon into the evening of music. It's a ticketed event, so kind of a gated event. There'll be food and adult beverages, and it's an all-age event, but they're planned for a beer garden, that kind of a thing. So right there at Central Park on that big lawn, which that is a space that was designed to host these types of events. So this is kind of the first, test the venue kind of an event. But we're really excited about the lineup, and things kind of brings something for everybody. And pretty modest ticket price. I think we're about $25, There are some VIP options, but pretty modest ticket price to get in the door for a great afternoon and evening of music.
Wonderful. So look for more information on the website, on the Facebook page. I'm sure there'll be information about parking and shuttling to the venue as well. So more information to come. We mentioned the community center earlier, that a lot of people are getting excited about it now and in the future. Right now, the time is to think about memberships. And you've got a sale going on.
So we have our membership sale through May 10th. Residents can enjoy 15% off savings. And there's a couple options. You can do all building, pool, or pickleball, and then another $10 off if you sign up via the website through the electronic process.
All right, so great annual occurrence to get in on that sale. Speaking of Park and Rec, there's a new opening here. Give us info about the opening.
So we're currently recruiting for a recreation program specialist in the seniors department. So this is really, in our seniors program. So this is really an opportunity to work with the senior community. We have a large following in our senior community, and it's really a great program. So great opportunity here, and that position is open through May 15th.
We've always been looking for signs of spring as we've done the show over the last couple months. Here is a sure sign that spring is here, the boulevard planting, a great annual event. When is it happening and where, and can people still get involved?
For sure. We'd love to hear from you if your company or just as an individual you want to get a group together to come and do some planting. So these are for the flower beds along Weaver Lake Road and Elm Creek Boulevard. Thursday, May 16th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then Saturday, May 18th from 8 a.m. to noon. So a weekday option if maybe your business wants to get out, or maybe you're with a seniors group that wants to get out, and then a Saturday morning option. Families, anybody who wants to come out and help plant the boulevards. It is really a great opportunity. So registration can be found online, Maple Grove Parks and Recreation page. So take a look there for that opportunity.
We have walked you through the process of the Veterans Memorial in the city for quite some time of how that is coming, and it looks like we've got a date coming up here that there's going to be the groundbreaking, and then shortly after, a ribbon cutting. Give us the preview of what's going up.
So they're under construction. They held their groundbreaking middle of April time frame, so that was a nice day. I think it had that was the week that it had snowed
Of
quite
course.
a bit, like the day before. So I think they maybe threw shovels of snow, but that's fine. So we're looking forward to this. The construction's going to move pretty quickly here. So potentially a ribbon cutting around Maple Grove Days. So
Very
stay
nice.
tuned for that.
All
and
right.
really nice addition to the park.
Yeah, it will be fantastic. Farmers Market, we mentioned the indoor season is now done.
Yes.
And they're taking an early stab at outside.
Yes.
What's the date?
Yeah, Thursday, May 16th. I
Okay.
think there's 18 things going on Thursday, May 16th in
Right.
town. So 3 to 7 p.m. outside at the community center. So we're kicking it all off. So just hoping for some good weather, and looking ahead, it does look like we're gonna hit that. So
Yay.
yeah, extended season for the farmers market.
Music, rewards program, kids power program, all sorts of ways to get
Yep.
involved. It is a great event in the city. Another sign of spring as the street sweepers are out doing their business.
Yep.
Why is this important, and
Yeah.
what does this look like to get this whole city done?
Yeah, so 300 miles of streets to
Nice.
sweep in
Yeah.
Maple Grove, but it's so important to keep all of that debris out of our storm system. That all ends up in the storm ponds, which then need to be cleaned out to maintain volume and quality, those kinds of things. So the more we can get off the streets and get it to, it eventually ends up at the yard waste site. So
Okay.
kind of the cycle, circle of life here. But needs to dry out a bit more, and then we'll get it up there. But yeah, we have gotten through the city. So important part of the spring process.
Yes,
Yep.
definitely. Another part of spring is cleaning out the garage and getting things out of the house. And we've got some drop-off opportunities in Maple
Yep.
Grove, 2 different versions. Tell us about both.
Yeah, so the drop-off day, Saturday, May 11th, 8 to noon, up at the Maple Grove Park, or Maple Grove Public Works Facility, 9030 Forest View Lane. I think the curbside already happened. I think
That
that was
already
last
did take
week.
place,
That was already
okay.
last week. So this one is up the drop-off at the Public Works Facility. But we do encourage people, if you're thinking about coming up, just take a peek at the website
Yeah.
real quick and make sure what you're planning to bring is accepted, and if there's any fees associated with it.
All right, easy enough.
Yep.
Police Explorer program. This is a neat part of the city, and these explorers
Yeah.
not only help out in many ways, but also do some training.
Yep.
Recently, they had an opportunity to do that.
Yeah, so they headed to Rochester. That's where they hold their annual conference for the Police Explorer program in Minnesota. 586 explorers from 49 different posts competed in the events. Maple Grove Post won awards in traffic crash, street decisions, stress and wellness, first aid, mock job interview scenario. So this is great training for these young folks, and our goal is always, hopefully they'll maybe consider a career in public safety, law enforcement somewhere, and then this is great exposure to the work that law enforcement and public safety does.
Congratulations to those involved. Child Safety Fair is coming up. We have all sorts of fairs, and this is on
Yep.
the day you mentioned. There's a lot going
Yes,
on. This
yes.
is that weekend, Saturday, May
weekend.
18th.
Yes.
What is happening and where?
Yeah, so M Health is hosting this annual event at their Maple Grove location up there, kind of off of Maple Grove Parkway.
Okay.
Saturday, May 18th from 9 a.m. to noon. This is a free event. There's a teddy bear clinic, kids ID, child safety programs, beginner skateboard lessons, and then we need the helmet to follow that up. So
Okay,
helmet fitting, or maybe we get the helmet before the skateboard
Probably
lesson.
a good idea, right?
And then we have the bike safety rodeo, safety and rescue vehicles will be on hand, and then there's also karate demonstrations. And again, that's just located right off 99th Avenue there, just east of Maple Grove Parkway.
Yeah, all sorts of fun. And again,
Yep.
many of the area businesses involved in a lot of these events and putting them on
Yep.
to get residents out and involved. Fire prevention classes. This is something through the Fire Rescue Safety Program. Give us the dates that are coming up here and why people should get involved.
Yeah, so we have dates coming up Wednesday, May 15th, Wednesday, June 12th, and then Saturday, June 22nd. And this is just an hour-long class, and it really provides information about smoke alarms, fire escape plans, and seasonal hazards. We just encourage folks to give a call up to the Government Center if you want to get registered to do this. There's information on our website available as well. And these all take place, I think, at the Lawndale Station out on Station 4 there.
Very good.
Yep.
Speaking of the fire department, they're always in need of more people to help fight those fires.
Yeah.
And there's another recruitment effort. Give us
Yep.
the basics of why people should be recruited and how they go through that process.
Yeah, so our firefighter recruitment process is kicking off. We're currently accepting applications. The application period is kind of long. We do a lot of community awareness and engagement around this process. You'll see some signs out and about at the fire stations. They're going to be holding some informational meetings. There's a series of dates available through May, June, July, and August. We get through National Night Out, and then we kind of close up that application process and go through the selection process. So really a great opportunity. Maple Grove is a lot of our communities around us are transitioning to more of a full-time department scenario. I think particularly because they've struggled getting daytime response, those kinds of things.
Right.
And we're hanging on, and I think this department provides a really great opportunity for people to get involved with the community and give back. There's a lovely, pension associated with your service as a firefighter in Maple Grove, and we really encourage people to think about it. It's a great group of people, great camaraderie. We have 5 different stations throughout the community, so you have an opportunity to serve right in your neighborhood. And we get a lot of great feedback from the community about when our crews show up and help people out at sometimes the worst point, in their lives. And so it's really an opportunity to make a difference. So if you're thinking about a way to get involved, and really it's a good little part-time job to add, to your income, and then some retirement boost there as well to add to that. So we really believe in the paid-on-call model. We believe in this sense of volunteerism and service to the community. And so if it's something you're thinking about, encourage you to attend one of these sessions and think about joining the department.
Great opportunity to get more information and find out what it is all about. And again, coming up in the middle of May and then a couple in June and July. Go to the city's website to find out more about that. A lot of information on the website that we pass on. That was the information dump on you there for the last about 10 minutes. But a lot going on, a lot of opportunities in the city. Heidi, thank you very much again for the time. Great update. Let's give you the next council meeting date. That is on May 20th. And again, you see the website in the middle of the screen, so all that information about the big concert coming up, some of these community events, you can go there to find out more. Address and phone number to the Government Center right at the bottom. And again, viewer response line 533-1710. Questions or comments about the program, we'd be happy to answer those. For Heidi Nelson, I'm Dave Kaiser. Thanks again for joining us.